And I'm your host, Jermaine J. Williams. Welcome to another edition of The People's Perspective. And as always, we run off donations. So please, on the Facebook, first off, I want to tell you to like the Facebook page. Also like the subscribe to the YouTube. And we just appreciate y'all for watching. These views are going up, popularity are spreading, so we appreciate that. Always remember, click the donate tab on the Facebook page. We greatly appreciate it. We run this whole thing strictly off of donations. Got some big guests coming up later on in the month. Some really good, useful information. We're going back for another season. We're going to have some great people on, and we're going to start it off today with Joshua OZ Johnson and Damien 8 Measures Johnson. And they are tag team duo in Atlanta. And Damien, if you don't mind, we're going to jump right on into it. Kind of tell the people some of the things you're doing around Atlanta just to set a background before we get into the topic of what we're talking about today.
Well, as always, I always do, always making beats, studio recording, shoot music videos, work with different companies around Atlanta, and, I just help them do, like, videography and, things like that, I'm also working with Hip Hop Weekly, do some things with Live Nation, just to name a couple. So, basically, just in the middle of grinding, just trying to make it happen up here in Atlanta, Or shout out to Pensacola, Florida, and trying to make it do.
And Damien, I know it's probably you. If you don't mind, if you could turn down the volume on your laptop. Got a little echo back there, but we picked up everything you said. And Josh, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What's some of the things background on what's going on in Atlanta? What y'all are doing over there? Alongside of Damien.
Well, yeah, me and Damien partnered, what I'm saying, doing the Sacrifice Entertainment, still doing the music thing, rapping, producing, Damien, making the beats, I'm songwriting, making hooks, I still grinding the album, Sensei OZ Vacation, you can get that on iTunes, Amazon, what have you. I'm still pushing the single Aim to Amaze, shot the music video, Damien shot, edited, we did the whole thing together, we still partnered with We Good Photography, Johnson Brothers Photography. So we're shooting, with Johnson Brothers Photography. That part of the brand, we're shooting traditional photos, baby pictures, weddings, what have you. We Good, we go more into the entertainment, more modern urban style, with rappers and scenery and just models, fashion, just the next level as far as more edgier photography. So me and Damien still grinding that, still shooting music videos. We're just putting in work, promoting, learning. We had to learn a lot about this music industry, learn a lot about this business. So we're just at it, just trying to get it,
Now, what we're going to talk about today, thank y'all for that. For what we're going to talk about today is the BET Awards, Hip Hop Awards, the controversy surrounding about that. What the going on now, so it's the Justice or Else 10-10-15 march and the CNN debate. Now let's start off. Both of you guys were there covering the party, the after parties, the events, covering excuse me, that the same night as that award show. Talk to me about that, and also the next day was the Million Man March. OZ, if you don't mind, I'm going to start off with you. What are some of the things that transpired, and where are these controversies coming from?
Well, pretty much, as far as us and what we did, we was, Damien was the lead on covering the videography, the photography for the Hip Hop Weekly. They did the BET Hip Hop Awards pre-party, and that was done that Thursday. So a lot of the rappers, came out and, pretty much Hip Hop Weekly covered it. And Damien was the lead as far as doing photography, lighting, videography. So, we definitely was in networking, handling the Hip Hop Weekly aspect, but then, definitely doing what we do as far as Sacrifice, networking on the production on the production end. So, we pretty much, handled that, for that day. But, as far as the Million Man March goes, I went ahead and took that road. I was like, I definitely, this is history. So I said I definitely got to be a part of that. So Damien was still obligated to fulfill his obligations with Hip Hop Weekly for the rest of the weekend. So I went ahead and jetted on off, and I took that long drive. I didn't fly. I took the long drive up to DC, and I'm talking. I had to catch that event. It was amazing event. I mean, when I say amazing, I mean amazing. Black folks. I mean, to see that many black folks in one spot, it was crazy. But it wasn't just black folks. Farrakhan invited all these different Native American tribes. They came down. They had teepees. There it was a bunch of Hispanics, a lot of Haitians, a little bit of everybody was there. But it was a great event. I'm talking about, definitely something to see.
Yeah, I'm real jealous. I wasn't able to get down there, man. But thank God for social media, because if it weren't for social media, there would be no media coverage of it. We wouldn't even get the images that we did get. Now, Damon, a little bit more behind the stuff that BET did purposely to somewhat sabotage what many believe of the Million Man March. Can you speak on that for a little bit?
Yeah. Well, for one, I did have an awesome weekend, and I've been looking online, and they kind of started the boycott thing, and I definitely support it, because going off what I personally seen with my own eyes, and what a lot of close friends were doing and things as I was peeping out the whole weekend. It was a great weekend. The entertainment side, the rappers, the interviews, it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? Just lack of better words, but you can tell it was just like every black event in the nation went down on the same weekend. You know what I mean? And that was crazy. Now, I know everybody, for what I see on social media and what everybody's telling me, that, they boycotted BET for one, they didn't cover the Million Man March. And that definitely makes sense, they didn't cover it, and black entertainment television should be one of the first. If not, they the last ones to do it. They should be one of the own, they should definitely cover it. But it's from what I hear, is way deeper than that. They wasn't going to cover it from jump, off top. And I think a lot of us know that. But it's deeper than that. I feel like Farrakhan, he reached out to a lot of hip-hop artists all year long, really reached out. If you look at the interviews, if you look at the Breakfast Club, if you look at just follow him. You'll see he sat down with 2 Chainz, Jay-Z, Russell Simmons, Migos. You can name it. But you got CEOs out here, you know what I mean, that's basically who see this going on, and no, they're not going to get BET to cover it. BET News are not going to cover it off top. So I feel like that ain't even the conversation. Now, that's what a lot of us mad about, because that's the information that was gave to them, but it's way deeper.
And from what I understand, it's usually in November, right?
But no, the Hip Hop Awards is normally in late September. It's always, well, it was like when it first started, like the first weekend of October, but then of lately it's been the last weekend of September. And it seems like for this year, we was planning on going. I was like, I know it ain't gonna be the second weekend in October. You know what I'm talking about? So I was like, I know we're good as far as going to the Million Man March, and we can still do the Hip Hop Awards. So we was still planning on doing both. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, so naturally we had our people searching, because a lot of, PR publicists, they're on it. They want to find out, when is the Hip Hop Awards airing, so that, we can get tickets and make all that stuff work. So we were searching for the date when it's going to air, because normally it takes about 10 days from it takes that Saturday for when they record the show, and then 10 days that following, not the following Tuesday, but the Tuesday afterwards. So 10 days later.
I just want to cut you off. I want that to really stick out. We're going to make sure we come back to that. It usually take, and you're right, usually take 10 to 12 days, ever since that Source Awards fiasco back in the 90s? Was that the 90s or something? They had that big fight and shooting and stuff. They don't do rap, hip-hop stuff live anymore. But I'm sorry, go ahead. I just want to make sure we bookmark that, because we're going to come back to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so normally it takes 10 days, you know what I'm saying, and of recent they've been the last weekend in September. We were searching, pretty much trying to find the date when it's going to go down, the weekend is going to go down, and it kept saying it's going to be recorded in October. They didn't have a date for it, but they were saying that the air date was going to be October 13th. You know what I'm saying? So July came by. And August went through. It went through nearly the entire end of August. I'm like, they're not putting out a date. There's something is going on here. Something is something real funny is going on. So then finally, I think we found out like in early September that they was actually gonna record. The record date was gonna be on the same date as the Million Man March. And I'm like, that's crazy. And then a little bit later, it was a report that as far as Russell Simmons go, is that Russell Simmons was negotiating with BET like, hey, move it, change the date. You know what I'm talking about? Farrakhan's trying to get a lot of hip hop artists to go to the Million Man March. You know what I'm talking about? It's one thing not to show it, but at least you can't have it on the same day. You know what I'm saying? So after he was negotiating with them to try and get them to change the date, they agreed to push it forward one day. So they pushed it from Saturday the 10th, the same day of, to Friday the 9th, so that any rappers, after the Hip Hop Awards is recorded, they can go ahead and take a flight, head over to DC and still catch the march. You know what I'm saying? Which was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Once I heard that, I was just like, all right, well then the fix is in. They're really trying to, the powers that be is really trying to use BET, because if you know the BET Hip Hop Awards weekend, it's an entire weekend. All the artists come in town, and it's from like Thursday to Monday. There's always something going on each night in the club. So it was just crazy. So I just knew at that point, because I do music. I'm a rapper. I'm a songwriter. But I'm a black man before all of that. So it was just like I gotta go to the march. You know what I'm saying? Because you can definitely tell some funny business was going down.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not the only thing that went on that was sabotaged for that. And Damien, like I said, you know so many people, so many ins and outs, and what people are saying, and it did make it seem like they wanted the artists to choose between the two, and and these young artists probably would choose publicity over what's right, maybe. We did have some OGs out there like Snoop, and he did it, and then we had J. Cole out there, a person who I think, in my opinion, don't get none of the shine that he deserved. And there was a lot more people. I don't watch Empire, but I think one of the dudes from that show, whatever. I can't stand Empire, but one of them dudes was there. But elaborate on it a little bit more, Damon, about what was like the sentiment. What people was thinking in the industry, so to speak, about the deliberate BET thing, putting it on the same day as the Million Man March.
On top, I have to shout out, when people say they want to boycott BET, you got to separate it just a little bit, because you got normal, everyday people who work for BET that does their job. They either do sound, or they do video recording, or they do something for BET. And these people got normal sense. It's not their fault if you work for BET. It's a big staff that I was around, and they cool. It's got to do with probably, I don't know how many, not to just say the face of BET, like Deborah Lee. I'm not sure if she's just a face or she really runs things, or if it's a group of like 10 of them. We're talking about more of the bosses,
the executives,
high up BET. You know what I mean?
All the executives at BET.
And it seems like Deborah Lee is nothing but a puppet. She's man, I gotta think before I speak, because I'm about to say something that probably was gonna lose some audience. But she's a puppet.
Well, Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just, all the executives at BET, I will hold them accountable. I don't hold nobody that, BET do hire a lot of black people. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of Viacom, but it do hires, and it's a lot of jobs and positions that regular working black folks that have no say in when the hip hop awards is going to be recorded, or when, if they're going to show the Million Man March. They don't have any say on that. So I do think it is a handful of executives that, once they get that call from Viacom and they say, hey, we own y'all, hey, y'all don't need to play that. You know what I'm saying? And I think Viacom put in the OG call, and they just, hey, this is the OG call. You don't show it, and unless we need to probably have it recorded on the same day. So you know what I'm saying? And it's
I'm sorry. I really wanted to say too also that before we got on air, I was just on Facebook just messing around, and I was looking at the speech from Malcolm X, and somebody put like pictures to it, and it was called "The Deception of the Million Man March." Of course, he wasn't talking about the one this last weekend, but he was talking about the one with Martin Luther King. And he was talking about how white people, John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, used their power and was so scared of what was going on. And he exposed that. Man, YouTube is called The Deception. It's a speech by Malcolm X. It's called The Deception of the Million Man March. But what he was basically saying was the Million Man March had really, in the beginning, in its grassroots, had nothing to do with Martin Luther King. And when Kennedy made that phone call to Martin Luther King, got him to the White House, he said, I want you to call it off. He said, well, I can't call off something that I didn't start. So, this is according to Malcolm X. I mean, Malcolm X went in deep. He went into how they got that grassroots movement and infiltrated it and made it whitewash, made it dumbed down, and took the anger, took the sting off of it. And Farrakhan is he's not compromising. He's not going to compromise. They had to find a way. And well played, white people. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean all white people, but the power structure, well played, because our generation is guilty of the fact of just loving the award shows, the glamour. Some places we can't really be at, and just want to see how entertainment lives. And we'll give them our last dollar just for them in response on music to tell us how much more money they got than us, and go kill that nigga and all that stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it was very well thought out. Right now in 2015, they're doing it a lot more methodically than what they did in the 60s. Social media that changed everything. I know sometimes I sit back and I look, and I'll be like, when I was a child, I was expecting flying cars by this time. But if you think about it, man, technology is really something else. Now, Josh, last night a lot of people really didn't realize to put the puzzle pieces together. Not only did they get us on the front end on the Million Man March, they got us on the back end with the CNN debate with Hillary Clinton, and really, the main two was Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton squaring off. And it was on at the same time as the BET Hip Hop Awards. Now, BET Hip Hop Awards was on a Friday. It aired on a Tuesday. Now, what we bookmarked earlier, it usually takes 10 to 12 days before they put it up. Why did they put that up on the same night as the CNN debate?
Well, I mean, now that could just be a good coincidence. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I would say, now from a reality standpoint, is that they always aired the BET Hip Hop Awards on a Tuesday. You know what I'm talking about? To me, it could be a coincidence. I think not. I mean, I think, like I said, some funny business is going on to where they want to distract us a little bit. In which, like I said, I'm a part of the hip hop community. I love the rap game. I support my fellow artists. Grinding. And the BET Hip Hop Awards is the biggest hip hop event in the year. Of the year. You know what I'm talking about? This is what we do. So I want to see all these artists get their shine and get their awards and the ciphers and just I love it all. You know what I'm saying? But it's just when you see funny business going on with the powers that be, it's just I'm a black man first, so I'm gonna say, but dang, that's kind of messed up. And which I didn't watch. I didn't watch the hip hop awards last night. I watched the debate. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I wish everything was done on the up and up to where I could have really supported and viewed, you know, that event. But you know, I got to stick to my principles first. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, that's real. Now I can say this. You gotta. I think everybody did a good thing of. I believe people boycotted. I think a lot of people didn't watch. Now, I think a lot still did. But one thing I know that was different this year than last, that it wasn't on social media like that. People was watching. They didn't air it. They didn't juice it up to make other people watch also. I think they watched in the privacy of their own homes, and they didn't help AMP and help BET promote it. Now, one thing Josh, he just said, OZ, he's totally right. I still support all the ciphers. I support the whole award because it ain't about hip hop. You know, I was in it. I made money this whole weekend. So it's not about hip hop. It's not about the hip hop awards. I don't want nobody to think don't go online and don't go on BET.com now, but don't go online and check out the ciphers if you didn't check it out. Check out the performances. If you like your artist, support them. It ain't their fault. A lot of them, like Nate said, a lot of them like Diddy. A lot of them like a lot of them went back. Diddy went back. The Snoop Dogg went overnight, went out their way, and they still supported the Million Man March. They see what's going on. They know what's going on. And they still attended it. They did their thing. So I support the BET Hip Hop Awards. When I say that, I mean in a certain way. Now, you got 10 people at the top who probably, I mean, and we can even say that. We don't know how the discussion went. We don't know if it's arguments with the CEOs and Viacom, but just know it's bigger than BET. Now, the boycott, it needs to be effective. And if you're going to boycott BET, which needs to be done so we can show a message to the CEOs that y'all can't do us any old type of way. You can't just laugh with the ones who don't want to see no progression and still get your check from BET and think it don't matter. It's a lot of little Uncle Toms that's up there that really don't care about none of this. So we just trying to shoot a message to them that y'all ain't going to get paid by us either way it goes. We're going to kind of tell y'all what it is, but it's bigger. I look at it like this. You got Viacom. Viacom owns 200 plus channels, period. The biggest, best channels Viacom owns. They brought BET out. They offered vice president role of the whole Viacom to the BET owner. He sold it to be vice president over Viacom. So he let it go for a big price that I wouldn't have took. So they own BET. For them to hate on Black People Uniting, my opinion is, I feel like they use, out of 200 of their channels, they use Black BET to hate. You get what I mean? Yeah. So what Black folks gonna do? What we gonna do? We gonna attack back the BET. Got 1 out of 45 million weapons. They use one Black one to get us. So we all gonna boycott the Black one. You get what I mean? But we kind of hurting ourselves a little bit. That's why I say don't take it out on the hip hop artists. Don't even take it out on the people who work for BET, the employees. You gotta look at the CEOs and the CEOs of Viacom in the big system. It's a bigger game than this, man. So you can get that.
You know, in all fairness, if you want to hit those CEOs, it's gonna have to be more than one stanky award show. It's gonna have to be the whole thing. You know, I don't know how true it is. You know, I heard the rumors about Bill Cosby trying to start his own black network with his own money, and then that's when that big scandal broke. You know, so OZ, I mean, who do you think are some of the people who can't step up and do that? You know.
Well, I mean, right now I think we still got, you know, the only thing we got now is TV1. TV1 is I think Kathy Hughes still on TV1, so that's still black owned. It's not everywhere, you know what I'm saying. It's not just as available, but you know, and it's, you know, it's a channel. I mean, somebody would have to step up to the plate. Now, you know, I mean, Diddy, you know, he got the Revolt TV that's slow. Is income available, you know what I'm talking about, but that's gonna take time, you know what I'm saying. It's just someone's gonna have to step to the plate to offer an alternative. But I don't want to, you know, just, you know, affect, you know, like I said, the regular workers at BET or what have you. But to hit the executives, you do got to boycott the whole channel to a degree. You know what I'm talking about? Because they get money off ratings and off advertisements and what have you. And if enough people, you know, curve their BET watching enough, Viacom, they just look at the numbers, you know, and when they see that the profits ain't there, they're gonna have to let a couple people at the top go. And if the reason was because y'all didn't show the Million Man March or y'all not acting right, then so be it. A couple executives just got to lose their jobs. You know what I'm talking about in the process. I don't want to just totally, hey, let's never watch BET again and everybody stop watching BET, because then Viacom, well, then there's no money. They'll just change it to the multicultural channel, multicultural entertainment channel. So and it won't be BET.
I'd rather it be that than be you know, have a name that really doesn't have ties to or really represent True Hardly. And, you know, and also you think about it, what do you say to someone who says, well, CNN didn't cover it? Well, we expect Fox News not to, but, you know, when those riots was going on in Ferguson, when Ferguson was burning, Baltimore was burning, you know, Johnny on the spot, every station, but when we come together, because see, you know, we know about Malcolm, we know about Martin, we know about those people, we heard about them, but, you know, us three, we didn't live them, we didn't see them. You know, Farrakhan is that generational leader, no matter how I felt about what he done in the past to some leaders that I mentioned earlier, but we're living in the now, and it's time to act in the now. So that is a leader that we have, you know, in this time, day, and age. So and there's no secret, none of those news media don't like Farrakhan. They don't like the way he tells the truth about them, about the white race, about the structure, and about what's keeping them in power anyway. So you know they wasn't going to cover it. But what do you say about those stations?
I mean, with those stations, I mean, I personally, I wouldn't, I mean, I would curve, I mean, you got to get news from somewhere, you know what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, slowly but surely, you know, black folks, we don't have to, sooner or later, create a mainstream media channel that's black owned, you know what I'm saying, and to where we can control the news that comes out. I mean, right now we're utilizing the internet and social media, and that works, but we're going to need a big channel. Right now, the channel I watch the news, I get the most news from is Al Jazeera America. You know what I'm talking about? And that's aired on, and they give you a bunch of stories. It's kind of boring. It's a boring channel. You know what I'm talking, to be honest.
I like their accents. It's so soothing.
You know, but they definitely, they give you different stories and they give different angles. You know what I'm talking about? They don't give you just what the mainstream media is going to give you. You know what I'm talking about? They give you like just the real deal. And I learned so much from that channel compared to the other news stations, because you know what I'm talking about. It do seem like the mainstream media do curve and they streamline what they want to give you, you know what I'm saying, and that channel, you know, so I watch Al Jazeera, you know what I'm talking about, but we will sooner or later need to have our own, you know, black owned media news station, you know. Okay,
now look, we running out of time, so, you know, I'm going to get some rapid fire questions. Y'all both just answer yes or no. Try to keep it yes or no. If not, elaborate a little bit if you can. I know, Josh, you're going to have a difficult time with this one. Damien. Clinton or Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders.
What about you, OZ?
I mean, it would be Bernie Sanders. But if Biden runs, I'm riding with Biden. Just know I'm riding with Biden if Biden goes. You know.
Okay.
I like Hillary. I'm okay with Hillary. I mean, I like Clinton a little bit. Now, they showed they age.
You got to be careful now, because the people who does a lot of private jails, they put some money in Hillary's account. So, you know, they're not doing it for nothing. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, right. She don't end up paying her debts back to them, because they pay all that bread. So she's gonna look back out. You know, so I don't like that. You know, that's what I don't like about Hillary. But I do like Clinton. I mean, I don't know. I like Clinton. The dude, you know what I mean?
And keep in mind how she acted towards Obama when she was running across the. She said a lot of things that came off racist. You know, that made you be like, hold on now. You know, that's not about Barack Obama. That's like about black people. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we gotta go. That's a whole nother topic, y'all. We're gonna have to get back together and we do another show about some politics.
They would lose the bad. They were pissed. They would lose the bad. Obama was whooping ass. And
speaking of Obama, rapid fire. Damien, should Obama have been at the Million Man March?
Yes, he should have. And
that's okay. That's all I need.
Farrakhan is, he got to play politics, and he don't run everything. I think if it was all on Obama, if he wasn't president, let's say if it would have been a year from now, 2 years from now, and he wasn't president, he would have been in the front row, if not on stage doing his own speech. But
hey, this man. Hey, but Obama gonna be unemployed in a couple months, like about a year from next month. So what, about a good 13 months? He gonna be unemployed. Shit, I go take a shit on the lawn, man, in the White House if I was him. Josh, should Obama have been there?
I mean, as a dude, yeah. As a man, as a black man, he should have. But as president, you know what I'm talking about. He could have, I mean, he could have been outside the White House, kind of, observing, like if they could have opened the window and he took a picture or something. I ain't gonna expect as president he would actually go to the event. It would have been cool. I think as a black man he should have, but as president, at least open the window, take a picture of you looking outside while the march is taking place. That would have been cool. You know what I'm talking about? But no, as president, he wasn't gonna do that.
Damien, the BET Awards. Should we keep it or should we get rid of it because of the reviews of this morning that came out? I didn't watch it myself either, but it really was a good reviews on it. Should it stay or should it go?
I think it should stay. And let me. I can't yes or no that. I think it should stay because, like I say, Viacom owned all the channels. It ain't too many black ones they own, and they using our station. That we got majority, I think 90% who work for BET is black. It's a lot of black employees that get paid good money to work for BET. So if they use that one weapon, out of a million weapons, they use the one black weapon against us. If we take down that black weapon, the only thing left is all these other stations. I say we get to the bosses around the black one. Yeah, y'all use the black one against us, but we smart enough not to rip up ourselves. We'll go around and get the Viacom through Empire. We'll get the Viacom through How to Get Away with Murder. ABC. You can get to them in a million ways, but I love hip-hop. I love what industry I'm in. I still support all the ciphers. I support all the performances. I just wasn't going to watch it when they aired it on BT to show our message that y'all ain't gonna use us against us. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't gonna use us against us. We'll show y'all that we even shut BT down so we ain't done. Just to put a message out. But at the end of the day, I don't want to collapse BT. That's me. I just want to teach the CEOs a lesson. Y'all take a blow at us, we'll take a blow back. But we smart enough to know that it's a million channels, and we got to get to the top who got these problems. And I'm smart enough to say, let's go around BET. Because BET ain't the problem. It's just these people who should have stood up and probably lost their job and say, nah, I ain't going to do it. We're going to put it a week before. We're going to put it in late September like we normally do. And if you don't like it, boss, you're going to have to let me go. You know what I mean? They should have stood up. But that's 10 people. But BET is a lot of people. A lot of people getting these checks. And they cool as hell. They do their job. They came to Atlanta. We balled out. So I'm in between. Let's boycott BET, but it's not BET. It's bigger than BET. BET is not black owned. You know what I mean? It's owned by the bigger power. So they using BET against us, but we got to be smart enough to teach BET a lesson, but to also still get to the main problem. So I'm in between there, but it's hard. It's so confusing. You got to come out with something like, what was the advertisement? We boycotting because BET didn't air. You know what I mean? BET didn't air. Million Man March. You know what I mean? So it's bigger than that. It's just they try to make it simple. The ones who created the boycott, they made it real simple for elementary school kids. Oh, they didn't air it. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that, man. They were fan hating from day one. They set the date. They did a lot of things, and it's bigger than BET. Just know that. We had to show BET, but it's bigger.
And you're absolutely right, but I must have to say that was the longest rapid rapid fire question we ever had on the show. But you're absolutely right. Josh, should they keep it or should it go?
I mean, they should definitely keep it. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I think, the awards show, like I said, it's awesome. It does what it does. I support it. You know what I'm talking about? Just doing music. This is the time, that time to shine, to show, for all the hard work people grind doing the music thing. Definitely got to keep it. But like I said, it got you got to hold the executives at BET accountable. So they got to at least take a hit. You know what I'm talking about? For they just can't try the whole game. So that's just where I stand on that, man.
All right, last question, please. Yes or no? Should the black people come together like a union and say, no matter what these record labels try to push us to do, we're going to stop, at least in 2016, just to test it out to see how it goes. We're going to stop using violence against black people as the point of our songs. Should they do that?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely should, man. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, it's just that when you sign to these record labels, that they have creative control. You give away your creative control when you sign the deal. So what I'm talking about. If they put the money in to push you to make you famous, they control what type of music you make. And it's just either you do what they say and you make that type of music, or you get dropped. You know what I'm talking about? And they won't put money behind you. And then that's just the name of the game. Now you really gotta really stay independent, and you gotta find,
because a lot of these rappers don't need the labels like they used to. We got social media now, so we definitely don't need the record label. But the record labels play an amazing job. They a machine that whatever song you got, if it's a hit, they can pump it, and they can get you known, you know what I'm talking about. So the machine works. It's just, what I'm talking about. It's just that, what I'm saying, the machine works, but they're gonna have creative control, and that's just the messed up thing about it. So, same question, Damien.
Yeah. I think stay independent. Stay independent, basically. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. You'll be able to put out your stuff the way you want to do it, even if it takes longer. You know what I'm saying? I say stay independent. I'm like, nothing wrong with signing the deal if you cannot, if you can have enough freedom to get 100 million people to know who you is through your deal, but then you keep it short, you keep it at one album, keep your name, you go back independent after 100 million people know who you is. You know what I mean? And then you do the stuff you want to do. Don't let them coon you. Now, some people can get a deal and still look cool. Kendrick Lamar to me got a major deal. He got a major deal. What he did, something with Taylor Swift. That thing got like over 300 million, 400 million views. The song he did with Taylor Swift. The man big, but they ain't cooning him that much. Now, if he go back independent, he still got 300 million people that know who he is. So I can't knock the deal that much, but I like Trinidad James, but don't let them do you like that. Don't let the first time around they coon you up to where it's hard to keep your name alive even after you separate or get dropped. You know what I mean?
My main thing is we coming off the Million Man March. We need to start seeing some effects like pronto. You know what I'm saying? We done all went there, either through people we know. Physically, we went there, even through social media, looking at some of the stuff that was going on, hearing about how powerful it was, knowing that it was time to come together. We need to see the big pay, some of it paying off by December. So we'll see about that. Real quick, both of y'all, Twitter, Instagram.
Go ahead, Josh.
No, you can go ahead, man.
Josh had to think about it. Go ahead, David.
All right, Instagram at We Good Photography. At 8 Measures, the number 8, MEASURES. Facebook, Damien Johnson, 8 Measures. Run it.
Yeah. With me, Instagram at Sensei _ OZ. That's SENSEI _ OZ. Same thing with Twitter. You know what I'm talking about. And then I got my Facebook music page, Sensei OZ. That's SENSEI O.Z.
And that's the same Sensei OZ on YouTube. 8 Measures, Damien Johnson on YouTube. you know, hey, these my brothers, man. They had a lot. We had a long run in the music business together. They still doing their thing. I mean, they haven't left me, even though I've been writing books. We'll get into all that later. This ain't the first time. They'll be back next week. Please donate. Everybody has a perspective, but there's no perspective like the people's perspective. But you already know that. Till next time.